Hey atheists, I have a question.
Hey, I'm an atheist. Maybe I have an answer. Hi, my name is Scarlett, and I'm an atheist and a skeptic, and today we are taking a look at the world of Lily J and her questions. She appears to be a Muslim who posts lots of short content, so let's skip all the blibbity blab and get going. So recently I finished a series of videos on arguments for the existence of God, and I got a little tired of slogging through all of that. It gets a little repetitive. It's always kind of like, we don't have an answer for X, Y, or Z, so God. It's a lot of, God of the gaps kind of stuff. So long story short, I was looking for something a little lighter to do, a little snark snack, if you will. And I found Lily J. I know a couple of other atheists out there have dealt with her, and I haven't watched a lot of their stuff. In fact, I've only watched one person's video on her and only like a couple of things. And so I have my own ideas about these arguments, and so I thought, let's do that. Let me watch some of her videos, and I did. I watched several shorts, and now Wise Algorithmo and Algorithma are recommending her videos, and that's just the kind of sacrifice I make for my viewers/listeners on this channel. You're so welcome. But anyway, I've watched a lot of her things, like I just said, and I'm suspicious that these questions don't come from a place of real curiosity.
Something seems really sketchy about this, and I'm not just saying that because I have a hard time with Australians.
And I promise you, I'm not trying to poison the well here. I really don't think her questions for atheists come from a place of good faith. Why? Well, this is kind of her shtick, saying she has a question. Just listen.
Hey atheists, I have a question. Hey feminists, I have a question. Hey ladies, I have a question. Hey Christians, I have a question. Hey vegans, I have a question.
Hey assholes, I have a question. Oh wait, that's me. And that was a terrible, terrible accent. Yeah, I'm the asshole, darn it. Anyway, you can see what I mean. It's a thing she does. It's like her thing, her catchphrase. So, heavy sigh, let's watch the full question.
Hey atheists, I have a question. So I just made this beautiful meal, right? Could you honestly say this meal cooked itself? Doesn't have a chef? How could you think that this universe, which is so much more complex and so much more intricate, could possibly be made without a creator? How does that work?
I'm gonna need a stiff drink to get through this. Stiff.
Am I supposed to take that seriously? This woman cut some shit up and put it in bowls and set it out on her kitchen counter. I'm not sure about the cooking part or her being a chef or anything like that. Maybe she just put things in bowls, not even cut it up. I don't know. But she thinks that's what creating a universe is like. You just put shit in bowls. I just can't even with this. Lily, child, did you conjure those pieces of food from primordial atoms? Did you poof anything into existence? Or did you just go out to the store and buy things that already existed? By the way, this isn't even a question for atheists. I mean, we've dealt with this so often, it's just ridiculous. It's science. Where things came from, how the universe got here, it's science. But when did that ever stop a theist from being ridiculous on the internet? Your question really doesn't deserve any complex explanation of Big Bang cosmology or how stars formed or anything like that. Since you're on YouTube, go watch a video about it. But I doubt you will. Next.
Hey atheists, I have a question. So you call religious people crazy for believing in miracles, right? But you believe in the most preposterous miracle of all, that the universe was created from nothing. It's impossible for something to come from nothing. How does that work?
That is the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
Right. What even a miracle? Scientific processes are now miracles. Another question that's not for atheists, but for scientists. And last I checked, no one thought that the universe was poofed into existence except, those people who follow Abrahamic faiths. Fail, and more fail. Let's watch a short that's not aimed at atheists.
Hey feminists, I have a question. Why is a man having an affair more socially acceptable than having a second wife?
Excuse me, what? Who said this?
I see it everywhere. Social media, it's in the movies. People are literally bragging about being a mistress.
They are. Who? Is it part of storylines of movies? Do you have an example?
Especially when it's a rich sports star or a celebrity. Is it really about money and not about morals anymore? So if society has turned a blind eye to this, why can't they accept the idea of a second wife? At least with a second wife, he's accountable, responsible, he gives her rights, unlike a mistress left with nothing but secrecy. Society double standards are honestly wild. What do you guys think?
You strike me as the sort of person that had a hard time in high school.
All right, so my first question back is, why is this for feminists? I don't know, IDK. Because it's aimed at women, it's about women? Now, some feminists have been against marriage in general, at all, because traditionally, women are treated more as property in marriages, and they haven't had all these rights that Lily alludes to. Not saying that's every feminist or that people think that today or anything, it's just when people have been against marriage, it has more to do with, are women choosing this? What's the women's role in this? It's a more thoughtful thing than a short can take into consideration. Now, my own stance is that however people want to construct their romantic lives, and that includes not having a romantic life, hello, all my aromantic and asexual viewers out there. I know you're out there and I love you and I'm happy you're here. But however you want to construct your romantic life is your business. I don't have a problem with polyamory. If everybody is on board with the things that are going on and it's all honest and this is the way we're doing business, that's fine with me. My main issue is, are women choosing their circumstances or are they being coerced into them? And I say women, but really it's any gender person really. Just traditionally it's been women that have been given from one family to another and haven't had any choices or not much choices. So yeah, are women choosing these circumstances or are they feeling coerced by, their society and their family into them? Are these second wives really okay? A TikTok or YouTube short is really a terrible place to think about the nuances of what relationships mean and just throw out this content like chum into the water. So I guess what she means by society's double standards is that in the West, we will, quote unquote, tolerate people cheating on their spouse, let's say, but we don't want people to get married to more than one person. But I don't see that as a double standard. Rather, let's just take the marriage part. So here in the US, you might have health insurance through your employer, but they're not going to give that for two spouses. Or there might be federal benefits. Are you going to divide those federal benefits between the spouses? And there are responsibilities, and there are other things. There are a lot of other considerations. And when it comes to cheating on your spouse, I don't know that society is all that happy with it. I don't think that's great. If you want to have multiple partners, then you do the polyamorous route. That's, a different thing altogether. But if you're supposed to be in a monogamous relationship and you're not and you're cheating, I don't think that's great. But what do you want society to do? Stone women at the edge of town? Oh wait, nobody give Lily J that idea because I don't want to see that in a YouTube short. Let's watch the one for the vegans.
Hey vegans, I have a question. Why do you get so mad when we eat meat? You don't get mad at a lion when it eats a zebra. Think about it. God gave us these canine teeth for a reason. Use them, but don't abuse them. What do you guys think?
Was this a mistake?
Oh, probably. But, we're here now.
So this is another part of her shtick. Why you so angry, bro? She does this for several groups, and I decided to go with the vegan one. And I know vegans have a reputation for being annoying, but are they getting angry because random people are eating meat? That strikes me as a waste of your energy. And this style of posting strikes me as rage bait. By the way, I'm not a vegan nor a vegetarian, but I thought this short was particularly dumb, and I wanted to share the stupid. You're welcome. Let's hear some of her thoughts on Islam.
No wonder the West hates Islam. Think about it. What's the biggest moneymakers right now in the West? You've got alcohol, gambling, weapons manufacturing, the sex industry, the financial system with the interest rates, cosmetics, fashion, music, Hollywood. But Islam cripples these industries. Gambling, forbidden. Alcohol, forbidden. Pornography, completely forbidden. And the next interest is forbidden. So if Islam was in power, the current banking system would completely collapse. At the end of the day, Islam has no commercial value. They hate Islam because it threatens their profits and their power.
Do you have any plans for today, or?
I plan on popping a pill, crying a bit, and falling asleep early.
She sounds so sure of herself. But you know Islam can't be in control of anything because it's a religion and not a human being. Haha, okay, I'm being overly literal here. I know we're talking about if Muslims were in control, the West would collapse, lol. I don't think that is why the West hates Islam or is afraid or whatever. It's not like the West didn't have its own branching tree of denominations of Christianity that did stuff and suppressed people and fought crusades or anything like that. I did decide to look up some of the biggest revenue industries, and health-related stuff was by far at the top. Banking is up there, sure, but healthcare and related stuff. I also looked up industries in Australia. Oh, look at number 9, oil and gas. What other nations are known for that? I'm sure it'll come to me. And back on that topic of banking, I wonder if Islamic banking finds a way to make money. Are they just so generous and they're like throwing cash out the windows and make sure everybody has ponies and unicorns in the desert? I wonder if there'd be a way to find something out about any of that. Nah, it's probably going to be a mystery. And no one is probably surprised to learn that some Muslims also drink. You can go and read differing opinions on alcohol. Religions are great at finding workarounds and language to justify doing all kinds of shit that their book says they're technically not supposed to do. We're not going to get into pornography and all of that stuff, but I'm sure that Muslims also use sex workers and pornography and stuff like that, and they just feel guilty because, religion. So anyway, what a nice fantasy world Lily has built. It would just be rainbows and unicorns all around if Islam were in control, I guess, but whatever. So there you go, a little peek into the world of Lily J. What struck you? Put it in the comments below. I love to read your comments. And while you're down there, you know the drill. Liking and subscribing and all the YouTube stuffing. Pour out all your libations to Algorithmo and his consort Algorithma. And hopefully they will not bring you videos about Lily J and her shorts and her, I have a question. I should stop doing that. That is a terrible accent. That is just awful. Anyway, if you like what I do, you can buy me a coffee. Here are my cute kitties who think you're buying me kibble. Yeah, there should be one of those. Buy me some kibble. I'm sure somebody will do that. I'm sure that's already a thing because, the internet. And I don't know what's next, but, it's going to be stupid. Bye for now.